Hello everyone. Today I'm gonna show you what you can do using this application. So first, MyWork. It's a task management and work tracking system. This will help you a lot at the working place. You can find more information on the website on this address, mywork.smilesoft.ro is this site. Here you have the welcome page for short summary of what MyWork is. Even more information is on the manual. If you want to download the application, go to downloads and select the one of those two buttons. Now suppose that you download the application, you will get a zip file that you have to unzip it somewhere on your computer. After I unzip on my machine, I got this folder. So to start the application, you have to go to run and double click. Some checks will be made for a newer version, and after that the application is started. You can find it in the Windows menu bar is this clock. So if you press the right mouse button, you will get a menu with options to work with. For example, the most important options are reminder messages, reports, and here reports for day I use a lot, and task management. Now to show you a case, I will use this test case. Suppose you get a new task from a person named Tom. Tom will be a task provider in this case. And Tom tell you to write something on a file. This is the task. It's just to show you how it works. The first thing, we have to register this task. Then we will start the task, start working on the task. Then we'll go to reports and we'll use reports for day. And then the last step, we will save a reminder message just to show you what you can do with it. Okay, so let's start. First, you go to task management and you write the name of the task. The name will be write something on a file. And you write the name here and you choose the task provider, which is Tom. Okay, maybe in your case, because it's a new fresh application that you just download, you will not have any task provider, the list will be empty. So you will need to add some task providers. If you go to task providers, you can add Tom, for example, save. You will see Tom at the end of the list, and also in the task management Tom is present now. So we select Tom, then we select a deadline for our task. The deadline is the date when the task should be finished. So let's say that the deadline is 20 of June at 12 o'clock. Okay, we can choose a priority for the task. let's say medium. Now we can save the task and press the save button. Okay, you can see the task in the list with all details. Always the status is new. You can change manually the status, or the status is changing automatically depending on what action you are taking on the task. For example, if you start the task, start working on this task, the status will change to progress. Here you have new waiting, progress waiting, testing and closed. For example, if you choose new waiting, you will see this sleeping icon. This means that the task is new, you didn't start until now to work on it, and you can start to work on this task because you need more information. So it's like a waiting state. Okay, so we will set the new task, and now we can start working on this new task. So we choose start. Okay, now you can see the green flag. That means that the task is in progress. The status has changed to progress. Before was new. And also, what I forgot to tell you, it's the deadline. The deadline tells you that in 6 days the task must be done. Also, the tooltip tell you that the end date, which is 20 June of June. Progression. Here you can type a number, 10%. For example, let's say this means that I already did 10% of this task. Okay, now we will go to another perspective. You will see reports for day. Here you can see today, that for today, which has orange background. It's orange because it's a weekend day, but normally in a working day the background it's right. For example, Friday has a right background. You can see also that Friday I worked on 2 tasks. Each task has its own color. If you don't have more colors, I don't know, because you just download the application, you can add more colors using this button. For example, you can pick one color. Let's choose not this one. This one is perfect, and press add color. Okay, so this is the new color. The order means your preference of the color. So with the lower order, so the task will get colors with the lower order first and go to next values. Okay, so it's Friday. You can see that first I work on the others task, then I switch to the red one, which is process file, email, and so on. Then here I take a break of 30 minutes. Then I start again working on the process file email, the first task. And here it's the finish line. It means that I can go home. For example, finish line appears if you specify in the configuration a period that you must stay at work. In my case, I must stay at work at least 8 hours. So after 8 working hours, I can go home. This is my company policy. Here, you can see that I work 8 hours and 2 minutes. This means I have an overtime of 2 minutes. Okay, so let's go back to today. The time interval is still small because it passed only 4 minutes. If you want to see more details, you can choose this scroll, vertical scroll, and you will see also the time. Take a look how the interval grows. Also the distance between the hours, it's getting it's growing. Okay, now you can stop the task. For example, just you can stop by using this stop or this stop, or in the menu this stop. It depends of what you are choosing. The effect is the same. So I will stop the task. The green flag disappeared. Dotted black line appears that represents the current time, the current moment. As you can see, as the time passes, a break appears here. For example, this is 0 minutes, but it will grow. The refresh is made from 15 to 15 seconds. Okay, so you can start the task again. For example, start, select the task and press start. And you can see again the blue time interval that it will advance to the right. Yes, the break is here. If you don't like this break, you can't delete it or fill it with a time interval. For example, you can join those two time intervals. Just select one, press join, and now you have one single time interval for the task. So the break just disappeared. Or if you want, you can split a time interval in two. Just press split. For example, okay, no interval was the wrong button. Split. Okay, you can see two time intervals. You can manually add a break here. For example, let's say that this interval starts at 7 afternoon at 23 minutes. Change, and here it's the break. Okay, so now you got an idea of how to work with time intervals. There are other options too. Also in this day grid, this is the day grid, you can add some note. You can say, I don't know, I have to go to the bank or something like that. For example, I add a note when I have to go somewhere, and uh, for that I have to leave the working place, and I just add a note for me to know that where I have been. Uh, you can use, for example, let's say that Tom calls you and say that at 8 in the afternoon he wants to call him and tell if you uh, write already write something on the file, like the task name say says. Sorry. So this means that you will add a reminder message at 7 and 50 minutes. Okay, reminder message, and you will say, don't forget to call Tom. Here it's the message. Also, reminder messages are of three types of reminder messages. With the fixed date, you can use a cron expression every Monday, every Tuesday, or every first day of the month, every last working day of the month. Or you can use some application specific. For example, you want to see a message after each time after the application starts, or before the application exit, or when it's time to go home. I have, for example, uh, uh, a custom message, time to go home, that I will see when time to go home it's reached. So every time I made 8 working hours, I will get this message. So I go home, if I can. Okay, so we just made a reminder message for 7 in the afternoon, 7 and 50 minutes. At 7 and 15 minutes I will get a notification that it will tell me not to forget to call Tom. Okay, so I'm done. This is the most used uh, case for this application. So most of the time this is what that I use at work. A simple scenario. Also you can check other reports for tasks. For example, you can select the task and you will see the days when you work on that task and how much time did you work. For example, on the task to get the email default blah blah blah, I worked 3 days. In 22 April I work only 48 minutes. You can see the day by selecting view day, and the reports for day will open for this day. So here it's the task. Okay, another report is the report for period. You can see how much did you work on February, on March. You can even choose a period and then press show. You can group tasks uh, together by using generic tasks. For example, you can add a generic task, let's say group 1, and another one, group 2. Now we can group tasks and see the total time spent on each group. For example, you can press report for generic task and you will see the time for group 1 and the time for the second group. Okay, then you can also add comments for a task. For example, for the task that is started, you can add some comments, blah blah blah, even make some screenshots using this button, draw rectangles or arrows, then press save, edit the comment. With the time when you insert the comment, you can delete it, edit the comment, allow to include the comment into the PDF or not. If you press this button, you will see all the comments in the PDF file. For example, this is the comment, it's a PDF. Or you can make this comment as a general comment, general information comment, and then it will appear to all public comments. Also, another thing that you can do with tasks is to attach file. You can use file upload. For example, select some file, for example, open. You can see here in the attachment column that the number is 1 now, and if you double click on this one, you will open a new screen with all the attached files. For example, this is the file. If you double click on this file, you will see the content of this file, which is blah blah blah. You can add some short description. For example, use this file for testing, and then press enter. So it's not so complicated to work with this application. Okay, I think in general I tell you all the big feature. The rest, for example, export columns in PDF, how to make task enable events, or what can I, or configuration about the license. There are more information about the license if you choose to buy the application, the license for the application. It's on the website. Here you can find a lot of information on how to buy a license and so on. Another features that you can use with MyWork is the database management. You can make database backup files for the database. You can delete the backup files. You can import a backup file into your application, but here be careful, because by importing a backup file database, you will delete your current database. Or you can choose to clear the database. You can use this if you want to give the application to somebody else, and you don't want to give him all your work, for example, or your task, or and so on, all your comments and files and so on. Here you can see it's important version of the application and this email address where you can write me if you have problems or questions and so on. And okay, here also the change configuration, which I show you for these settings, must stay at work. Also, you can find information on the website in the manual about those settings, and because I opened the subject, I will tell you now. This it's related to task management, the deadline column. For example, if you choose that it's a critical situation, that you want to see this task with a clock, this means that it's a critical period because the deadline is closed. For example, you can, if you say here 7, you say that in 7 days before the milestone or deadline, you should see this clock in the deadline. Let me show you. You press save, and here it's there are 6 days until the deadline, and because 6 days is less than 7 days, the value you specify here, you'll see this clock. This by using this, you will know that you have to take special attention to this task because it has to be finished. The deadline is near. This is the message. The deadline is near. This option will affect the reports for day when you choose to join two intervals. For example, if we change to join those two intervals, this one and this one, we can see that there is a break of 30 minutes. Well, we cannot join those two intervals because this break has a greater value than the maximum allowed break between the two joining intervals, which is 10 minutes. So if you choose here if this button or this one, you will get an alert that will tell you that maybe it's a break larger than this value between the two intervals, or maybe there are other intervals for other tasks, so you cannot join the interval. So if you specify, for example, 40 minutes and press save, this will allow you to join those two intervals because the break is only 30 minutes and the allowed break is now 40 minutes. So let's join those two intervals, and here it is. Okay, so the tells you that you can zip the database. You can create a backup database from 2 hours. Here you can delete the old database files older than 3 days. In my case, if there is no task started after 30 minutes, you'll get an alert. No task is started, so it depends on your choice to start one or not. This is how you can see duration. Duration is the time difference between two dates. For example, this is a duration. If I choose to see also seconds and press save, you can see also seconds here, and here, and here, everywhere when it's about time difference. But I like most only hours and minutes, and this is the default value. Okay, the next one, it's the location where the database backup files will be saved. You can specify the location. For example, I use the first one for some location on my desktop, and the second one it's a stick. For example, I don't know, this is a stick, and I will carry my backup also with me home or wherever I go. Here is the location where all the files, PDF files, text file will be created. Okay, you can choose save and close. Let me check. Is something more to tell you? Reports, touch, yes, this is so what is this about? Sometimes when you have a task for an internal meeting, you have to go to a meeting or training or something like this, and you leave your desktop or laptop at your place, and after you come back, you totally forget to change the meeting task, and you go on and you are start working on something else, but MyWork it's thinks that it's still in the meeting. So from time to time this will ask you if it's still the same task. For example, do you have a training right now? If not, change the task. For example, that is the message, and the place where I link the message to the task is here. When I can select a task and the message, and here I specify a value of 10. Not 10, okay, sorry, 10 minutes. I was confused. Okay, so if I press join, when this task is started, I will see from 10 to 10 minutes this message. Do you have a meeting right now? If not, change the task. If it's not the case of a meeting or training or something like that, this message is somehow annoying. But for meetings and trainings, it's a good thing. Okay, I think I told you a lot of things. I wish you good luck with this application, and thank you that you watched this video, and have a nice day. So bye.